The world has more empathy for their own smartphone than autistic people. Huh? That's right. Parents, carers, teachers, partners, friends, family, perfect strangers, all have more understanding and more empathy for their own smartphones than the autistic person in their life. Let me explain. So you have a smartphone. Usually when you wake up in the morning, it's at 100% charge or somewhere around that. Okay, great. During the day, you use it. You do many different tasks on it. Every time you do a task, a little bit of battery goes down. Near the end of the day, you've used it so many different ways that the battery is getting quite low. Okay, let's pause that there. Autistic people. We wake up, the start of the day, not usually very close to 100%, but let's say it probably the greater level of power and energy we're going to have for the rest of the day. Okay, so we wake up the same way a smartphone will wake up, pretty much ready to tackle most tasks coming our way. Now, every single task an autistic person goes through, which could be not just living and breathing, which could be masking, which could be suppressing autistic reactions, which could be dealing with the dysregulating nature of stimuli, sensory stuff, environmental stuff, demands, all the other things that can throw autistic people into the sea of dysregulation. One by one, a little bit of battery power goes down. By the day, drawing to a close, an autistic person has had to do many and varied things, tasks, all sorts of masking and suppression, and every single time the power has gone down and down and down. Now, we're getting to the end of the day here. We've got a smartphone who's running out of power. We've got an autistic person who's running out of power. Now, a smartphone, when it runs out of power, just out of nowhere, shuts down. People say, oh, my phone just died on me. An autistic person who gets to the point in the day where they've completely been depleted of all power resources from all the things they've had to go through. They don't just shut down or die. Thank goodness. What do? We have autistic reactions. Things like autistic meltdowns, autistic shutdowns, outbursts. Some would call them rage-filled tantrums. They're not. These are involuntary autistic responses. These are involuntary brain responses, because that's all that makes us autistic. Now, here's where I say more empathy for your phone than an autistic person. When your phone dies on you after being pushed all day, what do? After you say, oh, my phone died on me, you plug it in. That's right, you charge it. And you may leave it be until it reaches a level of charge that in some way is useful to you again. Actually, you're quite nice to it. You give it what it needs. What do you need? I need charging. There you go, charge. I'll see you soon. Autistic person can't just turn off or shut down. They have an autistic response for the same reason, all the depletion of power. And what do you as people do? Stop. Don't do that. What's wrong with you? Enough. Go back there and be normal again. Get back to your class. Get back to your job. Stop being so stupid. What's wrong with you? This is what we do to autistic people. The phone, we give it what it needs. We plug it in and we give it time. Autistic people who are about to shut down are being told stop shutting down and go back to doing all the things you were doing prior that depleted your power. Now, how can you expect a smartphone to give you all the power and energy it needs to do all the tasks of the day when you've just yourself realized it's got no power and it needs to charge? I'd like to see you try. Have you done that? Have you sat there and yelled, stop being so bloody weak, charge up now and do what I want? You don't. Guess what? Autistic people are not smartphones, but it seems like they maybe have a little bit of a connection there. Except we're expecting autistic people to not be given the things they need to charge, the things they need to re-regulate themselves, to re-enter society when they're ready. But we seem to have this amazing power to somehow tell them, stop being like that. Here's all your charge back. Be normal. Autistic people need to recharge, just like a smartphone. Except we're humans. It's going to take time. And by the way, if you maybe plugged us in more through the day, in other words, helped us with reasonable adjustments so we wouldn't have so much depletion of power through the day, we might not have ever got to this point. And now we've got to this point probably because of your failures of reasonable adjustment. You're telling us stop being dead to power and go back to being normal, which is illogical in any premise. You already know what to do, but apparently you value a smartphone more than autistic people. If autistic people have got to the point of dysregulation after a series of events or a long day, you know what to do. It's instinctual. Plug them in. Let them recharge. Let them re-regulate themselves. And when they're back at a level where they're now able to take on further tasks, you may then welcome them, encourage them to go and do so. But don't yell at them and demand them to suddenly be the smartphone that you woke up with. You don't even do that to your own smartphone. We're talking about people.